Hello, everybody. It is your Professor Rocco, your boy, coming at you once again with another Age of Sigmar video. Yeah, that's right, we're off to a good start here. I'm loud, I'm in town, and I am here to talk to you about fatal list flaws. Yeah, fatal list flaws. I got three of them. Three things that I keep seeing for everybody in casual games, big games, important games, tournament games. Listen, we gotta have a talk. All right. So I keep seeing these things. We just gotta bring it out. First things first. Like and subscribe if you haven't already to this video. Cool. Got the YouTube shilling out of the way. Nailed it. Second, people are just too focused on like raw damage. All right, hear me out. Hear me out. Until very recently, and still actually, because they're still around, you need to kill a Mega Garga in a turn, right? That's great. That's great. Your list needs to be able to output the damage to do 35, 40 wounds to something on a 4-up save. If you can do that, you can lift a unit of whatever. Whatever. It could be, 35, 40 damage. Could lift a unit of 20 Phoenix Guard. The math gets funky, but you're trying to, because usually you've got like 3 or 4 rends between all your stuff, or you've got a bajillion attacks at -1 rend. You have a way to do that. All right, and people call this math hammer, which is great to see the total output of a unit. But if you get so caught up on like the damage and not how you can get the units to deliver it and live long enough to get there, because you're like, yeah, man, I just have a whole army of glass cannons. It's like 3 super buffed up units of whatever, all reinforced right in there. And then, I took the new battalion from the General's Handbook here with the new season that gives me extra damage versus battle line, 1 wound, whatever. Galatian veterans, whatever the new keyword is. So now I'm doing like 4 damage per swing. That's cool, dude. The other person won a 1-drop on their list and just killed all your stuff before you could even do anything. Neat. They didn't bring Galatian veterans. You overdid it for the wrong type of damage, Junior. It like statistics are great, but if you don't know how to comprehend them and understand them, it's just kind of a waste of time if you don't know how to implement all the data and sift through it. And I'm a YouTuber, don't listen to me. Form your own opinions. But it's great that 2 plus 2 is 4, but if you can't walk close to your opponent's unit and hit them, so you do the 4 damage, no, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that 2 plus 2 is 4. You're not even playing the game. Second thing I've noticed, for real, for real. All right, I'm looking at my notes. Stop it. We're not cutting this out, Martin Orlando. You've commented. I love you, buddy. People tend to make one hero or unit just super important, and it's like glaringly obvious to their opponents, and it's the whole, you don't put all your eggs in one basket, because as soon as you drop the basket, all your eggs break, and then people counter by saying, well, you need to break some eggs to make an omelet. Well, I'm not cooking. I don't work as a chef anymore. I loved it. I grew up in it. Unfortunately, nowadays, if my eggs are all scrambled, someone else had the whisk when I wanted my eggs over easy. And come on, those are some good egg puns and jokes. It was good. It was good. It was good. So yeah, if you make something that just is glaringly, obviously way too important, like there's certain buff heroes out there, right? If you only take one of them and they're like the linchpin to give out the certain command ability that lets you do the thing, and then it just dies. Like if you're gonna build around, say, a Warsong Reverend, Yeah, Revenant, the Sylvaneth hero. Like that's your only source of damage, and then they kill it, and then you just don't have damage anymore because you just took a bajillion dryads. That great. They're -1 to be hit and wounded if they're near a tree now. Fantastic. They have horde clearing magic and a bunch of shooting, and pluses to hit. They don't fully care. You need to diversify your lists. So that's part one, where you over worried about the damage. Two is it's just redundancy, a little bit of different buffs from here or there could not hurt you at all. Literally will not hurt you at all. If you only have one Maw Crusher, what's better than one Maw Crusher? Two Maw Crushers, okay? You have one unit of like 9 pigs from Iron Jaws. That is too many in that unit. The moment that unit dies, because people are bringing enough wounds to kill a Mega Gargant, they can focus fire down on the one singular unit you have to kick butt and take names. Make it a unit of 6 and a unit of 3, or 3 units of 3. That way, all that damage, they have to try to split fire. And as we all know, split firing is horrible because dice hate it when you split fire and just will not roll. It is scientifically proven. Dice will not roll hot for you if you split fire. And they'll just roll bad, and then you'll do, instead of like 90 damage to one unit that you would have overkilled if it was 9 pigs, you got 4 damage on each unit, and I don't even think you kill a pig. I think they're 5 wounds now. That's just science. I'm a YouTuber, don't listen to me. Um, list sin, fatal flaw. Number 3, building your army around a gimmick. It's cool, right? If you could just you do one thing really, really well, and when you get to do the thing, life is a breeze, right? Like if you were my Living City army and my Fulminators, it was great when you could shoot and move closer to people within 9 inches. Just eventually someone says, hey man, why don't I throw a bunch of dragons in this list and just abuse this horribly? And Fulminators. And I'm like, but I have other hobby projects. I wasn't going to buy dragons. I didn't even get to do the fun thing. Because you know what? Games Workshop decided to nerf it. So this is a twofer. One, if you have a gimmick that you just beat like a dead horse, it's already dead. Just stop. Move on to other stuff. Games Workshop is going to remove it. 2, if you have a gimmick like deep striking, this is the actual advice for the thing. If you have a gimmick where like your army deep strikes and you put like all of it in reserve, everybody that has ever played Warhammer will eventually see there's a meme of a guy at a 40K tournament probably 20, 30 years ago in Germany. Don't ask me why. Where there's 2 guys. There's a dude at the table smiling at a camera with his thumb up in the air going like, yeah, I won. And then there's a jerk in the back going with a judge over a rule book saying like, I don't know how he beat me. It should be illegal. And the story behind it is, at the time you could totally deep strike your army. You just had to come from like a table edge. And the other guy knew this strategy existed, so he brought units that he could set up along table edges, including his opponents. So he literally made it so that his opponent could not deploy the whole game. 2,000 points of the army just died. The guy won literally in deployment. Like, it's normally a joke that you lose in deployment. This person lost in pairings to see who he played against. Don't be that guy. Okay, because if you're really good at one thing, you might be good at some other things. If you're magic heavy but you suck at close combat, you build stuff. You build redundancy. You don't overdo it. You don't worry about the numbers, and you bring other stuff. Right? They all build on each other here. But if you're gonna deep strike something, because this is what got me with Living City too, was to bring it back to myself because it's my YouTube channel. If somebody knew how to screen out a table edge for my Fulminators so I couldn't just run up and punch them in the face, with neg 2 Ren 3 damage, a bajillion attacks, they probably won. I am a good enough player where I made it a fight, but I would just immediately start on the back foot, and people would be like, Rocco, why is Skaven and Beast of Chaos messing you up, man? Like, well, Skaven can use Gnawholes to block me because it's impassable terrain, and make it so that the Gnawhole is the screen, so I can't even get within 12 inches to shoot and move. Not that I can do that anymore. That's gone thanks to the new General's Handbook and the FAQ that dropped. Um, and the best part is, I've been playing my Deepkin. I actually don't care. I'm going to go Tempest Eye when I eventually get to cities, maybe in a year. I'm loving my Deepkin. I'm loving Nautilus so much. I used to play Deepkin because it was another table edge, deep striking thing. But eventually, when you play people that know what they're doing, you never actually get to use your gimmick how you want to. So you have to play that mind battle of, well, I'm just going to always deep strike in my deployment anyway. I'm going to make my opponent play me honest, though, and have them stretch their whole army out. Now with my Deepkin, I have really, really good shooting, really, really good anti-charging technology in Namarti Reavers. I have great anti-shooting, and I've got really good mobility with my list of 3 Sharks, a Turtle, 10 Thralls, 20 Reavers, a King, and a Tidecaster, and it's just a big floating castle of doom and 2 units of 3 Aether Wings as screens to just die. Because you know what? I'm not playing to a gimmick. I am playing a well-balanced army that has a lot of harpoon shots from the Turtle and the Sharks, and a lot of archer fire, and what is generally 40 shots from the Reavers, and lots of ways to buff them for redundancy, so one unit of mine isn't important or overly important. Like, if I lose my Achillean King, cool. You're probably near my Turtle then. If you're near my Turtle, my Namardi get buffs. My Sharks are always good. And they just have to be good. They don't have to be great. And the Aether Wings are there to die first. You know? So with that list, I don't hit these 3 flaws, you know? I don't care about the raw damage of blowing stuff up from one unit. I've got a bunch of units that can do that. I've got redundancy, so not all my eggs are in one basket. But also, with that Math Hammer bit, I have movement to get me places. I can set up plays. I can set up always strikes first combos. I can make it so I can actually deliver the cool unit that kills shit. I cursed. That kills stuff into combat. It's doable. It's great. And I don't care about gimmicks. Because my gimmick is I move fast and around you and shoot you and fight you. I'm a complete army. I win the movement phase, and that sets up I'll say it again. I win in the movement phase. But I don't need to teleport. I don't need to deep strike. I can do it other ways that can't be stopped by my opponent generally, because I can fly, or I can shoot holes through stuff and charge. You know, I've got tools that let me work. And that's why my lists are fun, and I just avoid these fatal flaws where you get so caught up in things and it just goes south so quick. Because the moment your plan of, oh wow, I have one unit that does a bajillion damage and does this cool thing, doesn't get to play, you're just scrambling and freaking out of what you're gonna do, and then you're so off your game, your opponent just wipes the floor with you. You know, and if you, dear student, are watching our videos and listening to everything, you are going to be as cool as a cucumber, because you're not going to do these mess ups in list design. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for coming to class today. And as I'd like to say at the end of all of our videos, class dismissed. Bye.